Okay, greetings from the Northern Plains. Well, what I'm going to try to demonstrate here today is that you don't need to be some kind of an electrical engineer to get a little solar going for your RV. So what we're looking at is my basically homemade ground deployed solar system minus the panel, which I've since put on top of my SUV, which I will show you in a minute. And I got another panel coming for this cradle. But the bottom line here is I decided I wanted to do a little ground deployed solar. I built this cradle out of scrap wood I had around the garage and painted it. It holds the panel at about a 45 degree angle, which is just about perfect for the Northern Plains where we live. And if you need more angle or less angle, you can always just tuck a 2x4 in under the front or under the back and change your angle. Across the back, you can bungee strap from the hole to the hole, the panel onto the cradle. And you can also put some weight right there on the platform in case the wind is blowing like crazy. So there's your cradle. All right, over here we have a 30 amp charge controller mounted in a waterproof box. This is all Amazon stuff, unfortunately. Your Furrion plug that goes right into the plug on most trailers these days and motorhomes, unless they have the Zamp plug on it, and I think those are available also. And you got about 10 foot of heavy cable and the MC4s that go into the panel. So you got about, I don't know, 9 or 10 feet of cable here, plus whatever's sticking out of the panel. And you could add to it if you wanted to. And the controller's a 30 amp. That means it's good for 4 to 450 watts. So you could add more to the system if you wanted to. Now we'll step over to the SUV and we'll take a look at this trick little setup I got going on here now. Up on top, there's my panel mounted to the rack on this Expedition we got. Now here's the beauty of this. You're pulling a travel trailer, you stop, you pop the lid here, and boom. You take your MC4s. Now I happen to have a deep cycle battery inside this Expedition. This thing is set up for camping. So behind the passenger seat on the floor, I got a Group 27 deep cycle battery, a 30 amp charge controller, and an 800 watt inverter. And I have USB power on both sides here, and a memory foam mattress, the whole 9 yards. So this thing is actually pretty comfortable to sleep in if you had to. But the point is, you get to your campsite, you disconnect your MC4s from the battery inside the camper, inside the Expedition. You hook them up to the setup that I just showed you, and you've got 100 watts going into your travel trailer. And so with a heavy enough charge controller, you could run this panel plus another panel off of that, sitting in that cradle that I made, and you'd have 200 watts right there, and you'd still have, you could still put a couple of hundred more watts into the system if you wanted to. Point is, you don't have to be a genius to throw this all together. It costs less than a set of suitcase panels, which I'm sure some people are saying, why don't you just use the suitcase panels? Well, the suitcase solar panels generally come with a crappy charge controller, which I really wanted to avoid. So that's the story in a nutshell. I don't think it's a bad way to go if you want to get a little solar going. If you're in the middle of nowhere and you want to keep your batteries topped off and you don't feel like hearing your generator running, this is not a bad option. Okay, that's it for now.